Alrighty, good morning.
Morning.
Hey.
So, gold sold off.
What time is they coming for you, Elliot?
That was a big sell-off. I watched it
Yeah,
just fall.
yeah, didn't expect that from the news. I'm a bit shocked at that, actually. Let's have a look. So, financial juice. It was just the UK employment, wasn't it? There wasn't really anything else. It was only a minor shift. It happened before the news as well. Struggling for music. I have to do some research, find something good. Yeah, it was it was employment news. So because we saw how employment news affects obviously pound itself, but then also how it would affect, like, remember the US indices? Okay, remember NFP last week? No, 2 weeks ago. When we had this rise here. This was on the back of a bumper news report. This one here. Bumper employment report. So good jobs growing, low unemployment, higher wage growth. That's good for business. So we see rallies. Now we had the opposite effect. We had UK economy coming out and showing that they had rising unemployment, average earnings stayed the same, and unemployment rose. So what that then led to is we see a opposite effect. UK 100 is different though. So look at German 40. German 40 had a bit more of a sell-off. UK 100 sort of didn't have the same sell-off and actually rose a little bit. Do you remember what the reasoning is for that? So discuss that in the weekend, I believe. No, not the weekend just gone. The weekend before, when we had a little bit of a fundamental chat. So we saw pound sell off heavy. So why was that? Why would that be a little bit of an opposite effect for UK 100? Anyone remember? Morning. Don't remember? Or you just shy? So pound, a lot of the, if we look at the, we'll go to German 40 to look for a trade soon. UK 100, Vanguard, FTSE. So we look at the, okay, the FTSE 100. Then we look at the top portfolio data, and we look at the top number of businesses inside of there. So pharmaceuticals, oil, and a lot of these companies are offshore. They're not based in the UK. The UK companies, but a lot of their dealings is through US dollar. So if their profit is coming in US dollars, because what the petrodollar, what we sell oil in, what that means then is if you're getting back the same amount of US dollars and news comes in that drops the pound, that means your profits go up because you're making more when you convert to pounds. So that would actually be positive for a lot of these. For a weak pound is good. Is weak pound is means some of these businesses, companies will be making more money. So that's why a falling pound is sometimes a positive driver of the UK 100. So it acts a little bit different than some of these other indices. But we had a serious sell-off, didn't we? So if more comments come out, so we did have some comments after the UK employment data came out, and all this is going to do is stoke the excitement that perhaps a hold in rates is closer than expected. Okay, so maybe the economy is not as strong as they were making it out to be. Perhaps. So maybe, you know, adjust the odds of a hike at the next meeting. Let's check our tracker. It's around 15% yesterday. Increased to 20% of a hike at next meeting for CMC Group. FedWatch, investin.com has it at the same now. So that these weren't in alignment yesterday. Okay, so some saying overnight they've bumped the odds up again. Now it's a 1 in 5 chance they're going to hike rates. So they're going to start pricing this in potentially. So now let's have a look at Z German. Start with higher time frame. So what we're seeing often is we're getting a rally towards the end of the day. Okay, so let me just put my sessions on.
Patay nga lang yun. Hindi ba siya mansilaw? Computer ako. Mag-aircon ba siya?
So we're seeing a rally at the end of the day at some stage. So rallies like here, rallies like here. Not really rally there, but price push down. Remember I said I put an alert at 15,900. Once we close back above that, look for longs again because we've got clean candles here. So that was a nice little move. And after these little late day rallies, if it happens, sometimes it doesn't like this happened not long after NYSE, this rally, but we're constantly seeing these rallies faded out. And it's because we're in a range, really. So any sort of like moves, any clean moves, are just constantly getting faded out eventually. Suspect the same thing will happen for here. Let's mark up. So I've got like a little sensitive zone across the board. That's what this one is, sort of in the middle of all these little wicks. Okay, so I can adjust that, make it a little bit cleaner. This doji has been taken, remove that one. Got the Asian low here. This is for today. I was doing this just a little bit before, so Asian high for today. Mark up the 50%. Let's just adjust this a little bit. And then we've got another little red zone just above. So this is London low. London low for a Monday. We've got New York low from Monday. And Monday. Now the 50% of New York range. So I do wonder if they're going to bring it back up to around this level. We've got a few points of interest around here. Plenty of areas underneath to look at. Let's just get rid of, tidy some of these up. I'm expecting, if we are going to have this sell-off, that first target's going to be these monthly levels. They've been the sticking points quite often. So that's around that 15,850 handle.
Afternoon.
Hey buddy, how you, Glenn?
Yeah, good mate. How's your morning?
Good to hear. Did you take those sells on gold?
Oh, mate, I wish I had it. I was washing the dishes and when it started dropping,
Oh man, bloody dishes.
I was spilling over. I had a trend line set up for it to break and it just powered through it.
Yeah.
Retested and just couldn't get a decent entry to jump on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it happened early.
I don't know.
Okay, so we've got London high. We haven't got, I think we haven't even taken the London 50%, have we? Oh no, we did. That was where we retested yesterday. Okay. Gosh, like an old man, mate. Okay, so the stage is set daily. I've already retested the low, the open of yesterday's day. 4 hour. We've come and tested these areas. This is a nice little liquidity candle. Let's just mark that up. So we can probably attack the 50%. In this liquidity candle, do we have doji down the bottom? No, beautiful setup. Beautiful setup from down there. Maybe on the 1 minutes. And let's mark up that 15-minute wick a little bit more. And buy to sell into this area. Take out probably a little bit of that Asian area as well. Maybe even take out the Asian high. So did we leave anything behind? That was clear. Let's check 15 minutes. Double top here. Yeah. I wonder if I can see it push up or down and then target 15,933. You got your eye on there, Marin? Yeah, was it that time frame or did I go too fast?
No, sorry, this the bearish candle with no wick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, there's a couple of them, isn't there? 30 minutes ones as well. Yeah. So these are 1 hour candles even. Forget the 1 hour, two imbalances. So is price going to come back to take them first before then pushing down to target here? 30-minute is looking like a liquidity candle itself. Liquidity grab. 30 seconds for this. I don't like how it broke the high. I don't want to take the first breakdown. I feel like it's done the sell-off already. That it can be a bit tricky just selling, unless they're satisfied with the news that they're going to do a bit of a correction. But I don't want to sell initially just straight under here. Even though if it's going to work. I'd prefer to be fading some of this move out, but I think I need to seriously wait for it to slow down the momentum. It's one of those days that could do a clean breakdown, but there's plenty of liquidity left to the top side. This is the open. Let's get rid of the squiggles. So I do want to sell it. I want it to sell off, but I need to wait for a setup. Is all chart view. So we pushed into that POI. And let's see if we can do a liquidity grab and start drive up the other direction. Hey Ivan, how are you, mate? At the moment the pressure's to the downside. So getting into these sells, like it'd be better to have a selling bias. I know there's also manipulation in the market. So we might be able to create an overshoot to then come back down. Let's get the trades ready. Okay. So I think this is just thinning the orders underneath, trapping early sellers, but I don't think we're going to have much. There's a good chance that we just that this is just a first little trigger some orders, but we don't actually get much of a correction and then retest this low again. I can see that scenario playing out here. But it looks too easy for sells. So I think I'd like to see confirmation for a sell first. So a little bit of a pullback, and feel like if we start getting a resistance formed, I think we could see that wick fill pretty easily. I can't really enter here. It's not enough risk reward for me. Let's see if it's hesitating, it can do the rebound. Target would be it was the 15,850, so it's not even that far away. Down this here, the monthly level, like these areas. It's like I think it can drop further, but this wick is a little bit of a pain. London low from 12th of May, Friday. Yeah, there it goes. Just wasn't able to pull back enough to give us a risk reward, adequate risk reward. It's just going to drop off. What's gold doing? Gold's at 2007. Yeah. All right, I'm going to look for longs from under here though. So let me just measure. Let's measure the high of euro to the low of the euro open candle. So that's going to put 1-to-1 at around this 1859. So I want it to push at least 1-to-1 before I start even looking for price action for longs. Especially this is in the middle of nowhere. I have to be very careful because this is definitely counter trend. For me to go with the trend, I don't want to after it's had so much bearish structure like this. After it's done this for so long, I'm hesitant to sell pullbacks. Unless it's very clear. Took out New York low from Monday, took out New York low from Friday. Euro low from Friday is around this area. This is where we're bouncing from. Little imbalanced candle, little double, close to a double top. Yeah, there's a double top right here. I'm not going to get involved in the buy just yet, but I think we can overshoot and at least retest here again, which is about 30 pips away. Yeah, with the Asian session of being so bearish as well, I think it only makes sense to correct some of this move. So what are the other ones? Do we get a little 3 minute, 5 minutes looking like a liquidity grab? Cool. Well, one more minute for this one to close, and then this could be the first sign. Plenty of dojis left above. Yeah, looks good. Beautiful. What a reaction. It's why it's so hard to take the first break. Very rarely will take it impulsively when it's doing the first break. Not that I'm interested in buys from here either. If I want to hold into my selling bias, I'm going to look for a reaction from here to then target now 1850. Just how am I going to get this into this trade? Remember, patience is key here. All this trend line liquidity could just take. Rebalance the move, then sell off again. Nothing new. Robot wasn't too good last night. Got win, just break even, and that was about it. Had to cut one as a loser as well. Wasn't too bad though. Did anyone else use it? Have it running? Yeah, I'm gonna look for sells shortly. Saw it this morning. Yeah, so Euro US was from the 50. So it didn't really do anything, but it spiked down, and this was 25 pips, so that was good enough for a bit of a win. Aussie yen. This was the one that had a cut. So I was trading off the 40 around here, dropped down, didn't like the spike, and then this one here was like before 6 o'clock, just hanging here, ended up just cutting this one. And then there was another one. I have to find it in a second. All right, so we're back up into this red zone.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, mate. How are you?
Good. On German 40, can you go to the 4 hour?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we are, I think yesterday also we talked about this area, like how price is just tapping into that area, rejecting, tapping into that area, rejecting, again tapping into that area, rejecting. But still, whenever price is tapping into that area, we are again leaving some liquidity. Like here, this is a liquidity left again.
Mm-hmm.
That doji left. But on other time frame, now here is a liquidity generated. Here again, here is a liquidity generated. Now, can you go to the 3 hours? Okay. On 3 hours also, same thing. Whenever price is tapping into that area, always leaving some liquidity. Like here, he is a liquidity left. That's why price came back to the upside to taken out that liquidity. Now again, price yesterday, price tap into that area, leave some liquidity. This is a liquidity generated again. We push to the downside. We still not have gotten any kind of HCA setup, or you can say the double manipulation, where we can say that the now is the time where price will not be ready to push coming back into the upside area. Just it going to push to the downside. I know everyone is looking for short opportunity, or everyone is thinking German has to fall, but until or unless we are grabbing most of the liquidity, or even if we left this liquidity, price has to do some kind of manipulation in this area to so that price will not going to come back for that liquidity
Yeah.
to push to the downside. Even when we are this is a liquidity generated, this is liquidity generated at the bottom also, this is a liquidity generated, so this has to be taken out. But for that to be happen, either price has to do some kind of manipulation in this area to say that, oh, now we are ready to push to the downside. I mean, we are ready to drop to the downside, and now we don't have to worry about the upper side liquidity, this liquidity. Can you go to the 2 hours now?
Yep.
Okay, now on 2 hours we already created this HCS, so probably price will not have any interest to, based upon 2 hours, not interested to break above this area. For that to be confirmed, price can come back upside in this area, like till this doji, and then probably start moving to the downside. Or if we create any kind of manipulation in this area, not breaking this high or this high, then probably we will continue pushing to the downside, because every obviously everyone is, I mean, I'm also looking for a sell. I'm not interested to take a buy. This is just a manipulation, because if you see on this candle on lower time frame, like a 4 minute or maybe on 3 minute, you will see that this is candle started with like a doji, or you can say imbalance candle. So this is again liquidity generated, and we did not have any kind of pullback, and if we see manipulation, then probably we are continue pushing to the upside. But this is kind of like a strong push to the downside, but why not continuation to the downside? That means we created liquidity. People think that this is a low we created, now we just continue pushing to the upside. But maybe upside area, once we grab the liquidity, this will be our target to the downside, and continue pushing to the our bias to the sell.
That's the one I'm waiting for. That sell. Good analysis, thank you. Yeah. Yeah, one push down. Another way of saying it as well is, once we've made a low, 8 times out of 10, we retest that low before we can have that significant up move.
And when we are dropping yesterday from like this drop,
sorry. This one here, or yesterday's trade?
No, and just this drop. This is a trend line liquidity generated now. Yeah. So pushing into that trend line liquidity, grabbing the liquidity, and then probably continuation, the big move to the downside.
Yeah, as well as pointed that out. It's a very attractive area for us to sweep. Take out this triangle.
Yesterday I left some runner on gold, but it came back to the upside.
Did it just take you out?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw like from here, this one. If we didn't move our stop loss, we'd been alright. Yeah, I closed in full around here. That was when you jumped in.
Yes. Yeah. I'm also. I think I closed 90% here. I just left 10%. Think that just a small pullback. to again start continuation to the downside.
Yeah.
But it came all the way to the upside.
Yeah.
It is. But that was a great trade. I mean, based upon analysis, that was on point.
Yeah. Yeah. Took us 2 goes to get it. we took the first.
I think
It's in here somewhere.
Yeah. Can you go to the 1 minute on that area? I think what we did wrong on that 1 minute entry, previous one here.
Yeah.
I think on my terminal, this is an imbalance candle.
This one here. Oh, okay.
Yeah, and we also did kind of this thing. First manipulation, and this doji created another this manipulation. That's where Aja said that we should cut the losses.
Yeah. 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 Seeing this candle there, really the entry for that one then would be a 1 minute candle closing underneath the wick, then to push down. And
yeah, and
that was a
that
little
was
rush
a
of blood.
close to the that was a close to the 4-hour close also.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at down the
And
bottom.
I think, yeah, and why we pushed to the upside, this was a 4-hour week high also. Doji one.
Yeah.
So where we got rejected this thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, I think we cover that loss with this.
Big time. Yeah. Easily, because this one cut early, and then this one made up way more than. It's like, yeah, that was a great trade. Easy 50 pips.
I got like almost like 50 pips.
Yeah. No, I think we got over 50. I got 65 in total, but I had scaled before that. I'd taken some out just before the 2015. So this last 15 pips was only like 20% of the runner, 20% of the initial position.
Okay.
So like it didn't really, last 15 pips then effectively there's only 3 pips. So it's more or less 53 pips.
I got like around 65 pips.
Was that Glenn?
Okay. No worries.
Oh, you're on the phone. Okay. Alrighty. Yeah, hopefully get another session like that.
Sarah is a real good who got all the way to the upside.
I know. Yeah.
Yesterday.
Yeah. Sarah was. What was you saying today, Sarah? You were in. What were you in today? What are you in at the moment? Oh, mustn't be at the computer. So approaching Asian 50%. So this is where I could start to see the correction from. So let's wait for the setup. 1 minute hasn't taken. 1 minute hasn't given us one yet. 3 minute, nothing. Just a little doji. Starting to create little support and resistances. So maybe the buying momentum starting to slow. Little doji high. This one didn't work. Didn't hold anything. Yeah, this looks like a good place to turn around. If I was a German 40, I'd like to turn around at this point. Is this a double top? Not quite. On my terminal though, maybe. Yeah, on my terminal is a double top. Double top on the 1 minutes. This doji and this one. This one's just swept it. So I'm I'm getting close to pulling the trigger, but I won't do it without telling you. But this was a double top and this was a sweep. So one more, maybe a kick up, and then bearish candle, start breaking the low. Now taking Asian 50%, so perfect. Hey, FX Trading, how are you? Major liquidity above. Yeah, I've still got trendline liquidity. Which when you say major, what time frame are you referring to? So I'll find it for that. Oh, beautiful. That just happened now, did it? It's the 1 minute.
Yeah, the no wick
Yeah.
imbalance. It's on the terminal also.
Oh,
And,
this is
the
for
second-
yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah.
Doji, then yeah, that was definitely a cut loss opportunity.
Yeah, and even on the Forex.com also, same thing.
Mm-hmm.
No wick.
Yesterday gold 4 hour. Oh, you're talking about gold, not German 40. Sorry. Okay. All right, we're going to take the Asian high. Holy, going to correct this whole move. Fast candles. Remember, that's a gradient I like to see. Fast move can be the false move. Wonder if that was it, if that was the entry. Wait for a confirmation though. Finally got the little fast move though. That was pretty quick. I mean, 12 pips in that 1 minute candle. Come back, retest the low, break the low even. No, equal low. No wick on the top at the moment for the 3 minute. So is it going to flip bullish? But as soon as we get into this little acceleration, I think we're getting to the end of this move. Still got a few POIs above. Still got the Asian high right there. But are they going to leave that for later? Will they really want to push up, take that out, then go down, then back up again? You're thinking to sweep this liquidity to way down?
I mean, we are generating liquidity right now. This is trendline liquidity.
Mm-hmm.
So pushing upside, and maybe afterward we are dropping really hard.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is a liquidity right now. People going to buys only.
Mm. Yeah, I'm gonna wait for that. Definitely my bias is short. Especially after doing this move. Did they change the odds just in that last? Oh, increased a little bit more. So it went from 20.1 to 21.6. 21.2 on here. So something's tipping the odds. It's a little bit further into a rate cut. So why is indices going up? UK 10-year gilts fall 6 basis points. Okay, so that's less. No, that's not too bad. All right, come on, let's get us an entry. Let's get a sniper entry. This is an accelerated version of what we saw on the way down. There's a much faster version of this trendline liquidity. Then we got the acceleration and then the sweep. So now we're getting trendline liquidity. We get the acceleration, we get sweep.
Hayden, could this not just be a reverse reaction to what happened to gold?
Correcting like an overreaction?
Yeah, because gold dropped so heavily, it's now just pumping it into the indices.
Not really. I think this is more based on the news. But that gold drop happened earlier. This should be a little bit more related.
Yeah, right.
Because the gold started dropping at like 625, and then German didn't start dropping until, or like at 625, like it sort of had a small little drop, but this is only 20 pips. Then from the outset here, they did a sell to buy. And now, if interest rates and employment is bad numbers, they shouldn't be pumping this up. So that, to me, in my eyes, this is manipulation. And I could be wrong, but I don't see why that this would cause what has happened, apart from price being at a level down here, taking out yesterday's New York low. Why is that now a bullish indicator? When fundamentals is telling us, many fundamentals are telling us, and employment's as unemployment is rising, it's the last little indicator for price to then really see a sell-off. Whilst we had all these other factors like housing, we had production, had a few other things like all starting to show us these red lights, and employment was the only thing that was still quite strong, you know. Now employment's starting to weaken off as well. So once we had housing was coming down, okay, housing started to slow as these interest rates are going up. We've seen all those. We saw production is in like PPI and CPI is definitely starting to slow. We're starting to see companies lay off employees just to make sure that profit margins are still remaining high, and that's by removing the sacking off employees to try reduce costs of labor. Now, the last thing before a crash generally is to show those layoffs in employment. And now we're starting to see unemployment pushing up. So if unemployment is pushing up, now that's going to start to say people got less jobs, less money, and that's going to be a negative driver to indices, business. So this to me is purely just manipulation. And like we can, you know, you can take buys from down here and be those counter traders, and that's absolutely you know, there's a real edge to it still. I didn't expect it to be such a big move. If I had more clean candles above here, then I'd say this is a decent shot risk reward wise. But because we didn't really have clean candles here, I'd prefer to be going down and selling with my fundamental bias. Now we took Asian high. We're even approaching these little dojis that we've taken now, and we've just got New York high left over. So I'd really love to see a sell-off now. If I don't see a sell-off, it's means I don't get a trade. But I can't just flip my bias based on this and based on my view of the fundamentals. And I just want to see, I want to see a reaction. I want to see points of interest taken. I want to see clean candles. I want to see acceleration, and then I want to see my setup. And then I want to get a good entry to then correct some of this move. And it might not be the bigger move of the day. It might only be that it might just be maybe this is the start of the trend and I'm just catching the pullback. But all I can do is have my system in place and then be ready for it. So now, gosh, we're taking on New York. Why did it say New York low? And it's New York high. My bias can be completely wrong. But we know that even if I had a bias short, doesn't mean I'm actually picking where the trend is going. I'm just waiting for a setup in the short direction and just being clued on to waiting for that. So no wicks here. Maybe this is the last one to take. See if imagine holding onto shorts with no stop loss. The moment they close is when the correction will happen. This is a strong reaction. This is a good, nearly 100 pip push in a matter of how many minutes from here? From 8:05. So in 30 minutes we've had nearly 100 pips. So we've got clean candles going up now. That's exactly what I want to see. 1 minute push rejection, yeah. Let's see though. Let's just get some rejections and price to actually respect some of these, because at the moment we're getting some decent little bearish candles, but they're getting faded out pretty quickly. So that's telling me that the momentum's still strong to the upside. So let's just wait for that to fall over a little bit. Then we're going to get a beautiful move. So we've got a little support created. Got a little resistance created now. So something closing below here could be a good sign. This is a little lower wick candle as well though, so be careful with this one. But if we can get something to close, or 40 seconds for this one to close, let's just be careful we don't get trapped in too early. But this could be price pushing up, support, resistance, break support, that's the start of bearish structure forming. Until then, we just saw all the little supports and resistances. We're seeing supports were being held and resistances were getting broken. So now we're just waiting for the opposites to start happening. We want to see resistances holding and supports breaking. So this is the first resistance. The red's the first support now. 5 seconds for this one to close. So at the moment the support's holding. Okay. So if we can accumulate here and pick up some orders, the more we accumulate here, we can start to see a full correction take place. At the very least, now that we've got quite a sizable range here, we can say that this is quite clearly our London low for today until broken. London low for Tuesday. We don't know if this is going to be the London high just yet, but there's a good chance that the high is in. London high for Tuesday. I will have to change this if needed. But where did my fib go? I got rid of the fib. Okay, that's good. I don't want to keep it there, but what I'll do is just put in a fib for here. And then, so this 15,910 could be at least a 50% pullback for London. Okay, 3 minute not really showing anything. 5 minute maybe just starting to show a little doji. So now how do we handle this? Little doji starting to create like a little range. Maybe a little fake out from the top, a little 1 minute fake out, then that's breaking the high, then it can look to break the low. So let's see if we can do fake out short. Then what it will look like on the higher time frame, like the 5 minute, will look like the doji high has been taken, and then it's looking to take the doji low. But a little doji is typically a range, like liquidity generation. And if it just breaks down, then it means that once we had that little range, what we did was we created liquidity above and below the range. And if we only go break out one side and then start shooting down, that means that we've left liquidity behind. And that's why doji will come back and be returned to. Because this is building orders, right? So still struggling to break out. So if we're only breaking one side, we just do need to be careful that we don't sweep the other side. But this is a nice looking, healthy looking 1 minute candle, rejection candle. Got clean candles underneath. Now it took the low of the 5 minute doji. Let's just be careful and see what it's going to do. Are we just going to get clean candles all the way down? I'd like to see a retest. And then a rejection from this area again, and then push down. So all we need is a retest now. All right, that was a little retest here. I wonder if we're going to get a deeper one. But if you took an entry, once we closed, retesting, that would be absolutely fine to take. Could target the down here. Could target there. Or wait for a better retest, because we've still got a little bit of imbalance here, clean candles, and we've got this wick, so it'd be nice to see a confirmation. So 2 rejections from the top side, 2 higher wicks. But don't take it impulsively as a limit order. What you want to see is a rejection candle. But then we should be good to go. So just waiting for a rejection candle. Or resistance to be formed. Because at the moment we've got resistance, resistance, no resistance confirmed yet. But then the supports have been broken. This support was closed underneath. Still got the 5 minute doji high to contend with. So let's see if we can get a rejection from here. If we don't get a rejection, at least wait for a red candle and then take the break of the low red of that red candle. Hopefully the red candle's not too big. But if it's something like this, then take it under as it's breaking the low. Just need to wait and see, be patient. Wait for this to slow down. So at the moment what it's done is made a high, come back, retest that high. Let's just make sure that we didn't do a deeper retest back to structure to then retest the high and keep that trend going. So we want to make sure that we're waiting. So this was the POR line that we had. Maybe a little bit of overshoot, coming back retesting it. Just needs to slow down. So at the moment closing bullish, little tight, almost, but almost is not good enough. Let's be careful. So what is this going to do? Okay, took the high. Okay, my only job now is to, if it breaks this low, I'm going to enter. All right. Wish me luck. Let's see. Let's go up to 2008. Really, I'd like to see it correct a lot of this move, but I don't. Could be a little bit difficult for that. Keep risk low. I'm willing to give this a second chance. At the moment, it's that was a bit of a dodgy break the low. I didn't even think it broke the low on my terminal. No, it did. It did. Alright. If it doesn't work out, I'm going to look for it again from a little bit higher. 1915, 960-ish. But risk is low, right? So you shouldn't be worried about the outcome of this. You know, we just got to follow a process. Never seen a 100% guarantee on anything. Yeah, no good. Okay. All right. -1. Now it's gone to the next. Took out this one. So I'm going to wait for the same thing again. And then this time give it a second go.
The 5 minute was the problem. 5 minute doji, two doji was there.
Yeah. I was hoping that it was just gonna, like, the 1 minute really looked, 1 minute looked good. Probably should have had it a little bit under here, so it probably not break the low of the red one, probably break the low of the blue one. I think that was my mistake. Could at least fading out a bullish candle, not staying contained within this bullish volume. Yeah, I think I might adjust that. Okay, so this London high, let's push up more now. Now we've got the acceleration again. What a bastard candle. Alright, give us another setup. Closing back inside of this guy would just be a longer fake out, like a 3-minute fake out. See you, Glenn. Catch you later on. Check all times again. So 351. I don't want to enter on the break of this one. I'm hoping it's not going to just do this V shape now. This could be the, I think this could have been a stopper. Then closing back underneath here. Like if we push up and then coming back down again, I think this could be your entry down. Or my entry down. I'm willing to give it two chances. So yeah, employment was bad. Spending is down in other European countries. Yet German has been rallying. Something doesn't make sense. So I'm just waiting for a setup again. Looking for something like this and then to fade out that whole move. US 30 pushed as well. You took the sell halfway down the rejection candle. So from here, like 15,960, Jim? Ah, good one. Beautiful work. Yeah, I thought this was like, it just spiked up. It was spiked up to take me out. Took the high of the 5-minute doji. So this trigger got me in a little bit too soon. Based on half the wick of H1 candle to the left. Oh, this one. I didn't even have it marked up. Let me should have told me I made a boo-boo. So this is, yeah, good one. Two minutes. Little imbalance candle. Rejection candle. Just break this now and just plummet. Okay, another little 1 minute doji. Where's your target? Hell. Yeah. I think I've got a little image for that. London low. Alright, cool. Let me get rid of all these Zoom meetings. There we go. New to trading indices, failed to adjust lot size. Oh yeah, it's did you go too small, too large? Here's hell. It's not on here. But yeah, there is a little bit of news. There's the 50%. London, half of London range has been touched. Breaking this is going to create a lot of momentum to the downside. Pull back to London 50% made a lot of sense. Does that so regularly. So it's important to control that aspect as well. So I'm just going to watch this for a little bit longer, and then I'm going to call it a session, and I'll come back for New York, trade gold. Let's have a little peep what gold. Probably around what? So what news is there? We've got we've got retail sales at 1:30. So I'll probably do it around after the retail sales. I'm not going to try. Comex open volume will be a bit crappy because of retail sales. Don't want to trade the news. I'll trade the reaction to the news. So 2 o'clock, then we've got close of one of the 4-hour candles at 2 o'clock on one price feed. Then we've got NYSE. Then we've got close of another 4-hour candle on a different price feed. And then we have the 3 p.m. 1-hour candle, which is a great one. 100 pip move generally. Let's see if we can catch it. Cool. Thanks, George. Thanks, Alan. Thanks, Sonai. Thanks, everyone else. I will see you later on.